Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to honor and celebrate the lives of Richard John McDermott II and Annamarie Christine McDermott, valued and beloved members of the Oswego County community who were tragically killed last year in a car accident on June 10, 2023. Nearly 1 year later, our community still feels the gaping hole created by the sudden loss of these two wonderful people. Rick and Annamarie left an enduring legacy and profound impact on their 3 children, grandchildren, family, friends, and our community, and also on me. I was fortunate enough to know Rick and to actually become friends with him over the past 20 years. He was a bright and engaging and passionate advocate, particularly for the Second Amendment, and also as an avid sportsman and conservationist. Rick believed in preserving the natural resources we are blessed to have in New York State, and especially in the beautiful region of upstate New York, where he resided for most of his life. Rick McDermott worked at Novellus for over 23 years as an electrical engineer and retired in April of 2023, just a few months before his life was tragically taken from him. As an avid outdoorsman, Rick devoted countless hours to local gun clubs and conservation groups. He was a tireless advocate and trusted resource for hunting rights and Second Amendment rights across New York State. In 2012, Rick founded the New York Crossbow Coalition, which was critically important to the efforts to legalize the crossbow as a hunting equipment in New York. I remember meeting with Rick to organize several rallies in Albany when I was a member of the state legislature against New York's unconstitutional gun law known as the SAFE Act, passed in the dark of night in 2013. Earlier today, I had the honor of meeting Tom, Rick's son, at the White House. They were touring the White House, and as a wonderful opportunity that we have as American citizens. And Tom informed me earlier that he was actually an attendee at one of these massive rallies at the Capitol in Albany. Rick was always leading the way on Second Amendment issues and always in Oswego. He was passionate, always trying to educate everyone in our community so they understood the true value of our Bill of Rights and everything that we stood for as Americans and as New Yorkers particularly. Understanding the value of outdoor recreational programs, Rick led many youth pheasant and wounded veterans crossbow hunts throughout the years, making this his mission. Although I never had the pleasure of meeting Rick's lovely wife, Annamarie, she exhibited a similar passion and dedication to our community. The heartwarming tributes to Annamarie and Rick are really incredible and touching by their own hometown and reveal the depth of the devotion of these two wonderful people to our community and to their families. Annamarie McDermott was a devoted teacher's assistant for nearly 20 years in the Altmar Parish and Williamstown, otherwise, as we call it, APW School District. Annamarie was dedicated to supporting young, aspiring leaders in our community. She was described by so many who loved and admired her as a person who would strive to go above and beyond for her students. Annamarie created the Breakfast Club and also another club called the Rebel Club, which were beloved morning and afternoon programs that encouraged students to embrace learning and to foster stronger relationships with other students. They were united in marriage on May 16, 1987. Rick and Annamarie's legacy is not only defined by their professional achievements, but by the love and devotion they poured into their role as parents of Megan Birch and her husband Eric, who now reside in Canandaigua, also in New York's 24th District, Valerie Bullock and her husband Troy of Pulaski, Thomas McDermott and his girlfriend Allie Hamilton of West Monroe, and also the grandparents of Brayley and Mason Bullock. Rick and Anna and their unwavering support and presence at every milestone event underscored their commitment to this wonderful family and community, leaving an indelible mark on all fortunate enough to know them. And certainly, it was an honor for me to know Rick and the impression he left on me. My deepest condolences to the family and friends of these wonderful people taken too early in life. I hope this modest recognition and remembrance of Rick and Annamarie McDermott on the House floor will provide some comfort to the family and friends and everyone who knew Rick and Annamarie. I also hope that all Americans will know that as they witness on this floor, there were wonderful people living wonderful lives of courage and compassion and patriotism in our own communities, not seeking recognition, but always seeking to do good for their communities, for their families, and for everyone who knew them, and left a beautiful and indelible impression on so many people they met. I just want to say thank you to the families and everyone who have suffered through this very difficult year and have provided so much support, including the communities, to all that has happened and all that has happened to the young children, the grandchildren, and also to the kids, to Valerie, Thomas, and Megan, and all that they have done to try to stand strong in the face of this tragedy. With that, I just want to say thank you again to everyone who supports Annamarie and supported Rick and their family. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I yield back.